The Disney company has been saying that Disney Plus is profitable, or at least that's what they want you to hear, even though that's not what they're actually saying. Well, a new report out of the Wall Street Journal goes over a data leak that reveals that it's actually Hulu. You know, the streaming service that Disney is trying to underpay Comcast for, that's making all of Disney's money in streaming, or at least most of it. Let's talk about that here on That Park Place. Hello, I am Jonas J. Campbell, an investigative reporter for That Park Place, and here with me is Watcher of the Golden Girls, Mr. VashSky. Vash, thanks for being a friend. How you doing today?
Well, thank you for having me on there, sir. I can't say that I watched the Golden Girls to such an extent that I earn a title from it, but hey, you know, I guess strange things have happened.
Maybe we can discuss that over some cheesecake one of these days. Let's get to this story out of the Wall Street Journal. Leaked Disney data reveals financial and strategy secrets. Data trove sheds light on operations, exposes personal data of some staff and customers. This from the Wall Street Journal. And it appears to be the entire staff of the Wall Street Journal that has worked on this. Robert McMillan, Brian Whitten, Robbie Whalen, and Caitlin Ostroff here. This from September 5th. Some background on this data very quickly. A trove of data from Disney that was leaked online by hackers earlier this summer includes a range of financial and strategy information that sheds light on the entertainment giant's operations, according to files viewed by the Wall Street Journal. It also includes personal identifiable information of some staff and customers. Leak files include granular details about revenue generated by such products as Disney Plus and ESPN Plus, park pricing offers and company that the company has modeled, and what appear to be login credentials for some of Disney's cloud infrastructure. The Journal didn't attempt to access any Disney systems. Yeah, I believe that would be the illegal point here. Just a note, this says leaked and not hacked. I'm not saying that I can definitively say if it's a hack or a leak, but I'm hearing from some sources that this is a leak and not a hack. So look out if you're the guy that Null Bulge who released this information out in the public. If you're the guy that originally gave them information, I'd keep my head down. Maybe seek employment elsewhere. We decline to comment on unverified information the Wall Street Journal has purportedly obtained as a result of a bad actor's illegal activity. Well, I don't know which bad actors they're talking about, but I don't think it was somebody in a Disney production. Let's see if we can find the data in question here. Of course, there's little interesting nuggets like Genie Plus making $724 million in pre-tax revenue between October of 2021 and June of 2024. But here's the one that I personally love to see. The leaked documents also provide fresh insight into Disney's streaming revenue. The company doesn't disclose revenue for individual streaming services within its direct-to-consumer business, which includes Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus. Some investors have hungered for more granular data. You and me both. Internal spreadsheets suggest that Disney Plus generated more than $2.4 billion in revenue in the March quarter. That amounts to about 43% of revenue that the company reports for its direct-to-consumer entertainment business, which also includes Hulu. It underscores how significant a revenue contributor Hulu is, particularly as Disney seeks to buy Comcast's stake in that streaming service, and as the two sides spar over its value. Vash, do you remember what's going on with Hulu and Comcast?
Oh, absolutely I do, yes. They're trying to determine just how valuable Hulu is in order for the Walt Disney Company to buy out Comcast's stake in Hulu. Well, obviously there are some proceedings by which, you know, they've gotten third parties and so forth. One, working with Disney, has quoted the value to be under the floor there for the service, which is insane. Comcast obviously has valued it much higher. But this right here suggests that 40% of the value of Disney's streaming service is generated by predominantly Hulu. That's a pretty massive number right there. Or if I'm getting that figure incorrect, please, Jonas, go ahead and correct me.
Well, no, you are correct here. Hulu is probably, this is something that's been actually pretty well known if you've followed this channel or any of the data that we cover on a frequent basis. Disney Plus does not make money. If you look at how often they show up in the Nielsen charts, meaning not much at all, and the fact that they're not an ad-based streamer, and the fact that they are subscription driven as opposed to ad revenue driven, Disney Plus is not making much money for the company. 2.4 billion is nothing to sneeze at, but considering how much it costs to run this streaming service, well, they're not quite there. When you think about the 200 million a month that they spent when they were premiering a new Star Wars series or a new big budget film on the streaming service, or that they were covering up some of their financial losses from their theatrical division by saying, oh no, let's put this on the Disney Plus credit card here, and what is it, 50 million that you need, 100 million that you need, and of course the advertisement for Disney Plus there. So that 2.4 billion, that's quite a large sum of money. But if we look over here at their financial statements, this is I want to say their Q3 fiscal year 24 earnings report here. If you look, the DTC streaming businesses, direct to consumer, and ESPN Plus businesses, they separate these out, first of all. So for the 9 months ended June 29th, there's a $101 million loss on Disney Plus and Hulu together. And right here, for just the singular month, it's a $19 million loss right here for Hulu and Disney Plus together. If Disney Plus is only making up 43% of that profitability here, that says that Hulu is the one that is pulling this number up. Of course, the other sleight of hand here is that ESPN Plus had a profit of 66 million in that quarter, which brings it to the combined 47 million that they were touting this on their last earnings call to say that it is technically profitable. And this was a big swing right here in the profitable direction. So I don't know if some sports rights got moved around. I feel like this is probably, and this is not illegal when I suggest that this could be a technique in order to put something like this over the line. They could have taken something that was not on the ESPN books and shifted over that cost to ESPN or profit to ESPN, as long as they assigned it somewhere within the company in order to bring this figure up. I think that's what they're doing here. When we talk about $2.4 billion that they're supposedly making here, and we're coming out with 19 million in profit, possibly 47 million with an M in profit right here. This is a razor thin margin right here. So I don't think they are as nearly as healthy as they would like to indicate that they are. I wouldn't be surprised to see this move in the other direction, in fact, because they are dealing with such tiny margins. I think they need that DirecTV deal to end with everyone getting Disney Plus for free, so they can say, no, we got a bunch of subscribers, so maybe it'll keep moving in that direction. Vash, you have any comment on this one?
Well, yes, absolutely. We've noted before on our various channels that they are definitely doing some hanky stuff when it comes to moving stuff around here, Like the article mentioned before, investors have been looking for much more granular data in order to get a real sense of just how profitable or just how contributory stuff like the Disney Plus or Hulu actually is. And the fact that Disney hasn't been all that transparent about it suggests to me that, well, it really isn't a profitable venture. When things are profitable, then that's when they go out with the big numbers. Oh, well, we got 50% buy-in to Lightning Lane, for example, guys, or they, parse stuff out in order to make those big numbers very much known. The fact that they're hiding some stuff and now we have to, go to leaks in order to find some information out, it's just to me they're hiding the ball. Maybe that's for a reason.
I think there is some hiding of the ball here. And I want to go to a different financial statement here. This from the Disney company's SEC filings right here, talking about Hulu in particular. Just to reiterate what's going on with Hulu, the floor value of Hulu, according to the agreement, was $27.5 billion. Disney has already paid $8.6 billion on that to try to pay for that 1/3 stake that is still in play. Supposedly that was going to be the end of it, and Disney was trying to represent to its shareholders that was all that they were going to pay. Whether or not those were the actual words they used, they wanted investors and shareholders to leave with the impression that it wasn't going to be much more than that. They were like, yeah, we'll pay the rest. Maybe a little bit more than that, probably not much more than that. As part of the arbitration, the company, that being Disney, disputes the validity of aspects of NBCU's appraisal and the corresponding process, though. Consequently, completion of the appraisal process, including the manner of determining any such additional amount payable by the company, awaits the resolution of confidential arbitration right here. In plain English, Disney disagrees with how much NBC has valued Hulu at this point.
Right.
I just want to see if I can find the specific language here. Final equity fair value will take into account the valuation of a third-party appraiser pursuant to appraisal process resolved by arbitration. As such, if the third-party appraiser's equity fair value determination were equal to or below the guaranteed floor value, the company would not be required to pay NBCU any additional amount. Conversely, if NBCU's appraisal were deemed to be valued, it would go up. So right here, the company would be required to pay NBCU, in that case, an additional amount of approximately $5 billion as its share of the difference between the equity fair value and the guaranteed floor value. The incremental amount would likewise be between $0 and $5 billion. So right here, they're saying that the two original appraisers, one put it below $27.5 billion for the entire thing, which is ridiculous when you consider that it is what is keeping the streaming business afloat. And the other one was more than a 10% difference, which has triggered this third appraiser to come in here. So when we think about this data leak, that to me says that this is worth everything that Disney could possibly pay for it. And they probably should be ponying up that $5 billion. Vash, what do you have to say here before we wrap this up?
Well, before we even knew that, Jonas, I mean, how could shareholders perhaps scrutinize a deal like this for Hulu between Comcast and Disney if we didn't actually know that percentage amount? See, that's the thing. I think this is why Disney's been trying to hide this a little bit here, because obviously when you're talking about paying $8 billion just on the front and then an additional, like $5 billion or so for Hulu, I mean, how is an investor or a shareholder, or even the board for that matter, how can they gauge if that's a worthwhile investment without numbers like, hey, this is how much a product like Hulu contributes to our DTC division? Again, we shouldn't be having to learn this by leaks, but no surprise that we did.
I said that I wasn't going to throw any additional data in here, but I cannot resist. Let me find page 45 of this right here. I'm just going to point out that it's pretty easy to determine, at least by revenue per user, how much more profitable Hulu is versus the rest of the company here. If you go by, there's such a wide range when it comes to Disney Plus in particular, because there are Disney Plus Hotstar customers that only make the company about $1.05.
The ARPU isn't nearly as high.
Disney Plus Hotstar, $1 per user. Disney Plus Core, which is the rest of Disney Plus outside of India, $7.22 per user. That is a weighted average right here. It's leaving out a 30 to 40 million subscribers here. And then Hulu is $12.73 per user. And you could argue that's been lowered a little bit from where it could be. I don't know if this is representing 2/3. I don't know if this is representing the entirety of Hulu right here. I would love some clarity on this if I was an investor in the Disney company. So right here, almost $13 versus $7.25. Sorry, I'm going to round that more equally here. $12.75 per user versus $7.25 per user. It's pretty clear to me which one of these is profitable. And it's probably because it doesn't have the Disney name attached to it, in my opinion. With that being said, we want to throw this to our commenters. What do you think about this situation? Do you now believe me that Hulu is actually the profitable one? I've just been screaming it for 2 years. Screaming, I mean politely saying it over and over again, maybe. Let us know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Like this video if you like this video. And don't forget to go check out That Pod Place over there, otherwise known as T3PO. Of course, consider subscribing to That Park Place for all the news that should be fun.
Thanks for watching That Park Place News. For more information, consider checking out www.thatparkplace.com. And don't forget to subscribe, share, like, and send this out on your favorite social media accounts.